Hey everyone, it's Kathleen here, and today I want to show you my finished December daily album. So I actually finished it on the 3rd of January and I'm very proud that I actually completed it, because in the past years I gave up after about a few days or a week into December. Sorry for my voice, I'm still a bit, I still have a cold, so I sound a bit stuffy. Yeah, so I want to show you the album, and as you can see it's become quite thick and full. So I need to switch out these binding rings for bigger ones. These are now 2-inch rings, and I will get myself some 3-inch rings so that the album does close a bit better. And I will also need more of this ribbon, because I think it's really, I love this ribbon. I definitely want to use it to close my album and tie a bow, but this one is too short now and won't close anything. Okay, just in case you haven't seen my last video where I showed you the foundation pages and just a few words about it, I mostly used the Felicity Jane Joy kit for this album, except for this wood veneer cover, which was from my stash, and some bits and pieces in the album, but overall it's like 90% Felicity Jane Joy kit. And I think it's still available in the shop, or at least some parts of it are, so if you see something that you really love, I will leave you the link below in the description box so you can check out the Felicity Jane shop. Sorry. Okay, so let's get started. So my album has the dimensions of 5.5 inches by 7 inches, so I had to cut down the papers to this size and also some of the acetate pages to fit my album. And I didn't, like I already said it in my last video, but I didn't include every day of December. If there was a day where nothing happened and where I didn't have a photo or a story to tell, I just didn't include it. Easy as that. So, okay, so 1st and 2nd of December is this spread here with a fun little shaker pocket. And now these aren't very Christmassy colors and don't really fit the rest of my album, but that's fine, because A, you won't see it right away because it's closed, and B, the photos were taken in Singapore. We were still on vacation and it didn't really fit or feel right to put green and red next to these rather summery photos. And I always added my journaling with my typewriter just to keep a consistent look in the album, and also because I don't really like my handwriting. And in general I like to include pockets here and there for hidden journaling, so I cut down this journaling card to a tag, and so I can pop it into this little glassine bag beneath my photo. And I also included some vintage book pages in this album. Now 4th of December, this was when we got back home and picked our dog up from my mother-in-law, who took care of her while we were gone. So I included a bit of journaling on a piece of pattern paper and stuck it into this glassine bag, which is really pretty. It has these embossed polka dots and was included in a joy kit. I think the ribbons and trims were in this little bag. So I made sure to make use of most of what was in the kit. And I actually have almost nothing left, or I do have quite a lot of paper left, but embellishment wise I think I used almost all of it. Now this little bag was from my stash, and I included this also journaling card I cut down to a tag to include some information. It says presents, and I know it's not Christmas yet, but on the 5th of December I got myself some presents or gifts from me to me. So this is the photo that belongs to this pocket. And on the back of this journaling card I included what it was. Now, if you saw the last video, you might remember that on the back side of this beautiful floral paper there's actually a red paper with white polka dots, but it just didn't really fit in with, I don't know, I didn't like it with this photo here and with those two pages, so I just glued another piece of pattern paper on top of it, especially since I wanted to include some journaling about the 5th and 6th of December, and you wouldn't be able to see it on this red paper. So if I did make it as my foundation, or when I made the foundation of this album, but if there's something that doesn't work for you while you fill your album, just change it. No need to stick with it just because you made it in the first place, like that. Yeah. So this was 5th and 6th of December. I don't have something for the 7th, and as I said, I didn't... For me it's about documenting like December in general, not particularly every day. If there's nothing that I have to tell, then I won't include anything. So for the 8th I have this smaller page here, and I also included this wood veneer number, but because I already had this number 6 here, I just wanted to jazz up this number 8 here, so I used my American Crafts Zazz glitter glue, which is a few years old but still works very fine, to make it a little bit more shiny and glittery. And I also included a transparent pocket here, just from some, it's like this acetate or those transparencies you can get in the office store. I used them, I got a pack of 100 pieces for like, I don't know, 10 euros, so about $8 or something like that. And I included this journaling card and my journaling on the back and the 2 photos for the 8th of December. And the reason why I did it like that was that the photos aren't especially good, like quality-wise, but I did want to include them, so I thought I would make a little pocket like this so I can tuck them in behind the journaling card. And you can see that there is something in the back, so you will want to take it out. Now this page is a full page photo actually, and I used the white space of our kitchen cabinets, so I have this little forest of those trees on the kitchen cabinets, or had. And when I took the photo I already planned that I would use the white space from the kitchen cabinets to add my journaling, and I did this on my computer already, just with a typewriter font, and then printed it out. Now this next page is one that doesn't go with any particular day, or it's because, as you can see, these are 3 photos of our dog sleeping on the couch, and that's just one of her favorite activities, so I could take photos like this every day actually. But I wanted to include them, just it didn't matter what day, so I just put them in here. And over on this side I have this tag that I cut from the same paper as the background, so because I wanted it to blend in and not stand out, because I want the focus to be on the photos. And if you flip it over, you have this QR code, which if you scan it with your phone, it will lead you to a short YouTube video of her sleeping and, you know, running in her sleep and making some cute noises, and nothing special, just like a 20-second video, but I thought it was cute and wanted to include it. Now this is a just for fun page or spread. I saw it in one of Sue's Fish's videos of one of her albums, and as soon as I saw it I was like, okay, I need to do this in one of my albums. And when I found this honeycomb in the colors that would go with the album, I knew I wanted to put it in here. And I love everything that Suze makes, it's just gorgeous, so she keeps on inspiring me. Everything she does is inspiring. So yeah, thanks Suze for this idea. And then I have the 10th of December here, a journaling card and some journaling and another photo. And for this day, so this is the 10th of December, I have a few pages because I have some a lot of photos that I wanted to include because I really like them. Which actually works out well because, as I said, I don't have something for every day, so if I have a few more photos or pages for another day, that's fine. And this background paper here and the snow day was actually from a Gossamer Blue December album kit, so this is not Felicity Jane. And then on the back side I have two more of these photos and some puffy sticker candy canes to make a heart. And then this is one of my favorite elements in the album, I think. It's just a shaker pocket. It doesn't really shake anymore because it's gotten a bit smushed because of the weight of the album or the other pages, but it's one of those, I think it's simple stories and they're called pocket page flaps or flip up pocket pages, something like that. And you can use them in your Project Life albums to, they have a strip of adhesive up here and you can put something in there and then like tape them or use the adhesive to stick them onto your page protector and include more photos and have a flip up page. But I like to use them for shaker pockets because they are super easy to close. Just use some washi tape or something like this and you have your shaker pocket. And what I like about this is that you get a peek through to the next side. So this day, the 10th of December, was the first day it snowed here, or at least while we were here. So I wanted to include this, and I used this fake decorative snow that you can get in a home decoration, the sequins from the kit, and the wood veneer stars and trees from the kit as well. And this acetate is from my stash as well. Just glued my photo down with some glue dots. And I know some people don't like when adhesive is peeking through, so I don't really mind, or at least if it's not too much. But here I just used some of these puffy shapes or puffy stickers and put them down where the glue dots were, so you don't really see them anymore. Now for the 12th of December I included a few different things. This journaling card which says most wonderful time of the year, and just some stickers from the kit with things that I like about this time of the year. This one says faves, and I was inspired by the sticker sheet as well because it had smells, sounds and sights. So I included what smells, sounds and sights I like about this time of the year. A photo of a Felicity Jane project I did that day and a black and white photo of our advent calendars or Christmas calendars, not sure how you say it in English. I made it black and white because the colors were so different. There was some orange, green, red, blue, everything actually, and it didn't really fit my color scheme in the album, so I just put it in black and white and added those foam stickers, the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the back I included 1, 2, 3, 4 what they were and for who they were, because one of these calendars was actually for our dog, filled with some treats, and she loved it. So on the next page I have a selfie. Rare thing, especially a silly Snapchat filter selfie, but I included some journaling in this vellum pocket. I made it from one of the vellum sheets from the Joy kit. Just stitched it close, or stitched this pocket and adhered it to my pattern paper. And included some journaling about how I wasn't feeling very Christmassy. I wasn't really in the Christmas mood, so I tried everything, every trick in the books, like silly Snapchat selfies with filters and my glitter antlers and like corny Christmas tree earrings and stuff like that. Now on this next page for the 14th of December, I didn't have a photo, but I wanted to include some some journaling about it, because on that day we drove to Barcelona for another week of vacation, and I included my journaling on some vellum that I then adhered to this pattern paper. And this was actually something, so the doily together with this tag and a wood veneer and those stars was something I had in my December daily from last year, which I gave up after I think 3 days. But I wanted to, you know, reuse it and use up my stash. I don't have a lot of Christmas things, but still I wanted to, it was too pretty to just throw it away, so I made use of it in this album. Now this next one is a flip out, or yeah, pull out page, I don't know what you would call it. And I included this fabric bow from the Create Paper Maggie Holmes Carousel collection, which fit just the overall feel of the album and this ribbon really well, so I thought it would look nice. Now I have this Christmas wish list yeah, paper, also from the Joy Kit, and I included my journaling with my typewriter. It's not a Christmas wish list as such, like what gifts I wished for, but just what I wished for on this vacation. Just to have time to relax and, you know, snuggle and cuddle and drink coffee, enjoy the time there. So that's it. And that's why I also included this photo of our dog, all bundled up in the blanket, because it went really well with this wish list. Now on this next page, I'm really happy about this one, because so this was a little bag that in which a, what would you call it, like one of those candles came in, like those, I think in German it's, or you would, the one-to-one translation would be tea light. I don't know if you say that in English, sounds wrong, sounds very German. Anyway, and I really like this bag because it has this gold foiled, it looks like it was like a gift box or a gift bag. So I kept it and thought I would be able to use it in any project later on, and I did. And because I wanted to include more photos of those days, but I didn't want them all big because they would fill up my album very quickly and the colors didn't really go with my album and so on. So I have this bag here. Look how cool it is. I'm really happy that I was able to include it. And then I just tucked in my photos of those days. And as you can see, they are from different places, different things. Some are black and white, some are color. So they wouldn't go well if they were all on the same page. And they fit, so these are like almost, yeah, a little bit smaller than 3 by 4 inches, so they fit this bag perfectly. And I know it's a bit bulky, but to be honest, at that point my album was at a point where it was bulky anyway. So I thought, well, doesn't really matter anymore. Just put it in. And then this is 17th and a December bucket list. It doesn't go with any special day, just something I wanted to include in the album, where I could check what I did from my bucket list and what I didn't. And then this one, I love shaker pockets. As you can see, I already showed you 2, and this is the 3rd one in this album, and I think it looks really cool. And this was another way of using some of the packaging, because this plastic bag is actually the one that the journaling cards from the Joy Kit came in. And I thought it was perfect for a shaker pocket, because it was, you could close it easily and put your sequins in without them falling out and without having to do any sewing or something like that. So I just put in a journaling card. I think this one was Gossamer Blue, spelled out Be Merry from the alphabet stickers in the kit, or with the alphabet stickers in the kit, sorry, and filled in some sequins from my stash. and I love it. And this next spread is also about, or from when we were still in Barcelona, and these are two of our favorite places there. So I just included some journaling on a piece of vellum about what we did, where we went, and then stitched it down on this book page and adhered my photo beneath. Because if I didn't have the photo, you wouldn't be able to really read it, because you would have like text on text. So this was a good way to make sure that you can read and see the photo. On the back side of this book page, I'm not sure if you can really see it, I used one of my stencils, like a star stencil, and my Nuvo glimmer paste in Moonlight, just to add a fun touch. It adds texture and some glitter, and just to have that the page wouldn't be blank. Then I have this journaling card from, I think from my stash. I included this music chipboard piece from the kit and the pom-pom trim. I love pom-pom trim at the moment. I'm a little bit obsessed with it and try to find excuses for including more. And on the back I included my top 10 favorite Christmas songs. I thought it was just a fun thing to include, because I like to see how my taste changes, what I liked at a specific point in time. So yeah. Now this is a bag from, it's just like one of those gift bags from my stash, and as you can see it says shopping, so I wanted to include some photos of our shopping, or especially my shopping, shopping, yeah, what I shopped for. And I kept some of the tags of the things that were on, so I bought some clothing articles or items, sorry. And yeah, I kept the tags so I would be able to include them in my album, because I love to have some real life ephemera and thought they looked nice. And then I have this photo of the things that I shopped, so the clothing items. And on the back I adhered some pattern paper because the back side of the photo wasn't really pretty, and used another tag to add my journaling with my typewriter, and then stitched it down. The next one was some scrapbook crafty items that I shopped, and on a piece of pattern paper I included the journaling and adhered it to the back of the photo. And every time we go to Spain, or especially Barcelona, by car, we like to bring home some items from supermarkets and stuff like that, which we normally couldn't take if we went by plane. So I wanted to include what we shopped, or the most important items that we shopped, and I included my journaling on this piece, which is actually the topper, as you can see, of these granola bags. And I thought it was nice, also like a real life ephemera piece. And yeah, so I could, and I numbered these things on the photo so that on the back side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and what they are and why we bought it. Now this one is a full page photo again. It's also for no particular day, it's just to document the gift wrap. And I'm sure you have seen this kind of photo in a lot of December daily albums. I think it's a nice way to do it and to give you some white space to add your text. I did this on the computer with a typewriter font. And this year there weren't any gifts to wrap, because the things I already had got my Christmas gift early from my husband. The one I would give him wasn't going to arrive until Christmas and so on. But I still wanted to include what Christmas gift wrap I would have used, because I love this kind of stuff and I love wrapping gifts. And I wasn't really happy with how they looked in this photo, because you couldn't see how nice they actually were. So I thought I would include a piece of them in my album. So I cut down some small rectangular pieces and then adhered them to another piece of cardstock and made like a quilt, or kilt? And yeah, as you can see, I stitched down the pieces where they met to make it look more like a kilt. And now you can actually see what they look like, because this one is actually quite shiny and you have some more texture in the album. And I'm very happy with how this turned out. This is another page where I used some of the packaging. And I know some people wouldn't want to have this in their albums, because I mean, you can still read Felicity Jane Joy acetate pages. I personally, I don't mind. I like the scallop border, the black and white, the polka dots, and that I had some white space where I could add my photos, and beneath I have my journaling. So for me it's fine. You could cover it with something else. I could also have covered the whole upper part with a piece of pattern paper, but I'm happy with it. Now on the back side I have another full page photo, but with a lot of white space. And this one I actually took when I also took the other one of those. So this one, I took this one at the same time, already planning to use it as a page where I could add, when I wanted to add a lot of journaling. So this photo, the photo itself doesn't have anything to do with this day. It's just part of our Christmas decoration and gave me a lot of white space because I had a lot to tell about this day. Now a piece of vellum where I also added some trim from my stash. And on the back side I have those tags, which I actually made for the Felicity Jane blog post on the, I think, 15th of December. There's nothing on here yet. I might come back and add something, because you could easily add some journaling here or a small photo beneath. But I just didn't want the backside of this to be plain and empty, so I thought I would include it. Now most of you probably know what this is. So this is one of the Starbucks Christmas cups, and first of all I wanted to include it anyway, and then there was a fun story I wanted to tell that actually had to do with Starbucks, so I thought it was perfect to include this journaling on the back of the cup. And I just cut it apart and trimmed it down sorry, to a size that would fit my album. And this is the only time I added my journaling with handwriting, because of the surface of this this cup. The typewriter wouldn't work, so I thought I would do it that way. Now this is probably one of the most flattering photos of me ever, but just another silly Snapchat selfie or Snapchat filter selfie that I thought I would include, and I just added some red stitching around. Again, this time here it was actually the red paper with the white polka dots, because on this side I have this floral again. And the same as before, it didn't feel right and it was too much red for me. I'm not that much of a red person, and there's actually plenty of red in my album for despite the fact that I don't like red too much. So I just adhered another piece of pattern paper and then my photo on top, because the red in the photo and then in the paper, that was just too much for me. Now the next page is for the 24th, and again I used my glitter glue to jazz up the number. And as you can see, I didn't let it dry perfectly because some of it came off. Or maybe, oh no, it's not because I didn't let it dry perfectly, it's because if you close it, this acrylic piece rubs off some of the glitter. So I might have to go back and redo part of that, but that's okay. And yeah, in Germany it's actually the 24th of December that when we celebrate Christmas, so that's why I made this number sparkly. And again, another full photo page with a lot of white space. Also not taken on the 24th, just another photo that I took in advance to have a place for my journaling. And on the back I adhered another piece of pattern paper from my stash and stitched it to the photo to create a pocket. So I kept this part open and to be able to slide in this journaling card where I added some journaling about our Christmas dinner, which for us the tradition is to have something non-traditional. So we had sweet potato tacos. And on the back you have this, I stamped the secret recipe and included the recipe for our tacos. And I thought it was just a fun touch to add. I mean, it's not really secret, the recipe, it was just for fun. And then another, this is also for the 24th, where I included some more journaling on this tag and a bag with some more photos, again Snapchat filter selfies of my husband and me, and they were just, as you can see, very colorful and bright and so on, so I didn't want to have them on a page like that. Just didn't fit my, you know, my color scheme and aesthetics for the album. And if you, I mean, there are lots of people who have all kinds of photos displayed, and I think it always looks good. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't look good in my albums. And we didn't have a Christmas tree, but I still wanted to include a photo of a Christmas tree, so I just got one from Pinterest and printed it out. And on the back another photo of our dog sleeping, which was her on the 24th. And yes, she is in our bed, and yes, she can stay in our bed. Crazy dog people. Now this is for the 25th. I used one of the journaling cards and circled the 25. And on the back, again, the journaling. Next page is also for the 25th. This was the day my big picture class, my first class with big picture classes called Use Your Scraps went live. And I'm actually really proud of how it turned out. So as you can see, proud. And I included some of the sneaks for the class in a collage. And here is a screenshot of the new arrivals on the Big Pictures website, and also my profile where you can see classes taught, because I was, as I said, I was really proud and wanted to include this in my album. And yeah, if that's something you would be interested in, so the class is all about using up your paper scraps and different ways of doing so. I will leave you a link in the description box, and of course would love if you checked it out. If you have a Big Picture Classes subscription, you can access any class there, and if you don't, you can sign up for a 14-day free trial. Then this one is for the 27th, this is 25, this is 27, but it just fit in here. And for this one I actually used one of the tags from the Joy Kit, and they are all, well, most of them are black and white, but they are, you can actually foil them. So I used my laminator and some gold foil and foiled it. So if you have the kit and if you have those tags and a laminator, you can give them a nice foily touch. And on the back some journaling. And then the last pocket here for the 26th, some journaling again, and more pom-pom trim. And on the back side, a little, yeah, some words about this Christmas season or December in general. At first I planned to do the whole album until the 31st of December, but first of all there wasn't a lot happening after the 27th because I was sick and didn't do much, and also my album was really full, so I decided to just stop there. And this last piece is an envelope where I included a sample of one of the Christmas cards, of the Christmas card that my husband and I gave to our family. I just thought it was fun to include and to look back next year or whenever and see what Christmas card I made. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed flipping through the album with me. I know it's a really long video, and I just want to say thank you for joining me and for sticking with me for so long. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will make sure to get back to you. Or if you have any comments, any other things you would like to know, of course I would be happy to hear from you. So yeah, this is it. If you made a December daily album and have some photos or even a video, I would also love to see. So leave me a link as well. And thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye!